Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with All Things Barbecue, and today we're celebrating something we're pretty excited about. This is our 100th consecutive weekly recipe video. Now, it's about 2 years, a little less than 2 years ago, that we started cranking these videos out. And we want to thank you guys so much for watching. There's roughly 80,000 more of you watching on a weekly basis now than there were 2 years ago when we got started. And we want to thank you guys so much. Now we thought we'd do something fun today. We're gonna go back in time to that very first recipe that we put out here on the sauce, the reverse seared cowboy ribeye steak. We're gonna do it up proper, and we're gonna add a little something extra. But this time around, we're working with a monster 2.5 pound cowboy ribeye. There's not a lot of trimming to do on this guy, but I am gonna get rid of a little bit of this silver skin, just so we're not chewing on that at the end. So just anywhere I see some of this thick membrane, I'm gonna get rid of that. Now we're gonna season this up just like we did last time with some of our favorite rub. This is the Cattleman's Grill California Tri-Tip. I'm gonna hit the surface with just a little bit of oil for binder. It doesn't take much, just a little something for the rub to hold on to. All right, let's just give that a couple of minutes to kind of set up, and we're gonna take it to the smoker. You know, there's a lot of things that have changed in the 2 years that we've been producing these videos, but one thing that hasn't changed is how much we love cooking on these Yoder Smokers pellet grills. We got this YS640, it's fired up. We're running some cherry and pecan pellets, our go-to combination, and we're running at 225 degrees today. This is our smoking portion of the reverse sear. All right, let's lay this bad boy right in the center, second shelf. It's gonna soak up lots of smoke right here. So I mentioned I want to add a little something extra this time, and we're really not going to change too much about the steak itself, but I want to add some things to really complement that steak. So one of the things that we're going to do, I'm calling the century sauce. This is something I've been working on, something I'm really excited to share with you guys, and I figured that the 100 mark was a great time to unveil the century sauce. We're going to start this off with a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. And then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of House of Q Slow Smoke Gold. This is just one of my favorite mustard sauces that we have around all the time. And then 2 tablespoons of your favorite Italian vinaigrette dressing. So now we got a little bit of Italian flair going on. So why not add some Parmesan cheese while we're at it. I'm gonna grate probably about 2 teaspoons Parmesan cheese in here. And all of this comes together. This is a really pretty color. I mean, it's sort of a pale yellow. If you got it laying around, it's not a bad idea to add a little bit of that Cattleman's Italiano seasoning. I mean, it just gives a little bit more character and a little bit extra flavor. That's half a teaspoon maybe. All right, we're gonna let these flavors meld together. I'm gonna set this aside, and we'll get to work on the next component. That century sauce is going to create a really beautiful flavor that interacts with charred meat really nicely. But I also want to add a texture element to the top of this steak. It's going to look great, it's going to crunch well, it'll taste great. We're going to do some fried red onion. Start with half of a large red onion, and I'm going to slice this pretty thin. We'll toss our sliced onions into a bowl. And I'm gonna cover it with buttermilk. The buttermilk's gonna do a couple of things. One thing it does is it takes the the edge off of that onion. Red onion can have some real bite to it. So the buttermilk's just gonna mellow out that red onion flavor that's sometimes just a little too in your face. The other thing that it's going to do is it gives the flour something to grab onto before we get that into the frying oil. I've got a couple cups of flour here that I'm gonna season just with a steak rub. This will give us a little bit of extra flavor on the onions. And I'm simply going to transfer the onions out of the buttermilk, shake off the excess, and into the flour. So we'll just continue this process until we have enough onions breaded up rather, to top our steak. Yeah, maybe we'll do enough to top our steak and then a few more to snack on. The oil's sitting at about 375 right now, which is a perfect temperature for us to fry some onions. We've got a really pretty golden brown color on our onion straws here. We'll take these off, let some of that grease drain off of there as well. The steak has been smoking for almost an hour and a half now. Once you get to that 110 to 115 range, that's a good time to take the steak out and prepare the grill for searing. And I'm just gonna loosely cover this with foil so we don't lose too much of that heat. So we're gonna take this second shelf out, and I'll move aside our grill grates so we have access to the 2-door diffuser. Take that door out, and now we've got direct grilling surface. Now I'm gonna crank this up to 500 degrees so I can get a really nice sear on this steak. Now this cooker's gonna take about 5 to 10 minutes to come up to temperature, so in the meantime, that steak will just sit there and rest loosely covered in foil. All right, we made it to 500 pretty quick. That was probably 5 minutes total, which is great. Now we can get this steak back on there to finish. You just place that right where that flame is hitting it so we can get as much char as possible on the outside. And we'll sort of rotate this and flip it until we get to 130 degrees internal temperature. When you're doing this sear part, it's a good idea to leave the door open. That way you're not putting too much heat all the way around the meat, and you can focus on the sear itself. What we're shooting for again is 130 degrees. These ribeyes finish a little better about 5 degrees higher than, say, a strip steak or a tenderloin or something like that, because there's so much fat content in there. We just want to break that down so it doesn't come off chewy when you start biting into that. I whipped up a very simple sweet potato puree that I want to put down on the plate as a base, something for that steak to sit on. It also visually really cool, but it's really easy. You know, it's a roasted sweet potato and a few more ingredients that I'll be glad to throw in the recipe for you guys. We gave this steak about 5 minutes to rest. Before we slice into it, it'll probably be another minute or two. But what happens during that 5 minutes is all those juices that have run to the center of the steak while it was grilling, those are now going to redistribute out to the edges so that it's juicy from one end to the other. And when we cut into that, those juices are still going to run out because we know that simply searing a steak can't lock in all of those juices. But what it does do is it mixes with that sweet potato puree and only improves the puree because it's adding all that flavor from the juice. And then we'll add our toppings that we worked on earlier, starting with these onions. You can add a little flair, a little drama, get these guys sticking up, get some air on them. And we'll top it all off with that fantastic century sauce. Obviously, this is visually really impressive, but we gotta find out how it tastes too, right? Oh, so juicy. That's a big Italian steak. Man, those flavors come together great. We put a little bit of rosemary, snuck that into that puree down there, and man, it just makes the steak come alive. It's so good. I love that topping, that aioli-based century sauce is fantastic, and of course, the crunch from those onions. Hey, thanks so much for watching today, and not just today and not just this video, but the 99 videos that came before it. You guys are the reason we keep doing this week after week, and we appreciate you so much for watching. If you haven't before, go check out our website, atbbq.com. You can see everything that we're all about, from food to grills to outdoor furniture. We do it all. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, if there's anything else you'd like to see us cook, let me know in the comment section down below. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to thesauce.atbbq.com. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.